You know what the problem with a lot of channels is these days? Screaming. Yeah, there are a lot of channels where they feel like they need to scream to be heard, or at least to stand out from others. High energy, extremely high energy, yes. It appeals to children, sure. But if you want to have an audience that is mainly adults, screaming is not really the way to do it. There are very important things that you need to do if you're going to sound professional, authentic, and someone that you can connect with. And I've got 4 points here that I would like you to consider, especially if you're a new channel and you want to grow your channel and succeed. You should try to do these 4 things. So the first one is confidence. You want to sound confident when you're speaking. You don't want to sound like you have no idea what you're saying. So quite often a script can help if you need it, and that really does help you to sound a bit better. But there's a drawback here. If all you're doing is just reading the script, you might sound like you're reading a script. It doesn't really sound very authentic. So speak like you'd be speaking to another person, especially a friend. So just imagine that the person you're talking to in front of you, I know you're probably looking at your computer screen or a camera, then just pretend that your friend is right in front of you and talk to it like you're talking to a friend. I think that's really important. It makes you sound real. You don't sound scripted that way. Don't make a performance out of it. Again, sound like you are talking conversationally with someone. Just be sincere. Be real. And that is what people are looking for these days, actually. A lot of people are watching for, someone that they could connect with. And it's something that quite often you have a difficult time finding on YouTube. I know there are some people who, I know in the past, and I keep saying, like Tommy in It. Tommy in It was always someone who would scream constantly. Now, I actually, over time, I've gotten to like the guy. I think he's a good guy. And I think he understands that he came across as sounding incredibly immature. And if you listen to him today, he doesn't scream. Not at all. He's grown up. He has grown out of that screaming phase. There are a lot of people that do still do that, and they think it's the appropriate thing to do. Some people can do it well if their personality is right. Being louder sometimes does work, but it can also be rather forced. But most important, I think, is that people want to find a connection, someone that sounds real. Number 2, you need to know what your audience expects of you, and this is very important. You need to actually communicate what you are going to be doing, because if you don't, then they don't know what to expect. What you need to do is communicate right away what you're doing in your video. You need to be absolutely clear what you're doing. Don't make it a mystery, because people don't want to be constantly guessing about it. There can be mysteries throughout your video, but what you want to do is get to the point right away at the beginning of the video. The main thing that you're doing. You can add in little things that are surprising throughout, of course. That is something that will keep people watching. And if you make it a regular thing, they will understand that, hey, you're going to do something crazy or something interesting or something funny. And they'll be waiting for it. Except you have to keep it up, right? You have to keep doing it. But you want to make sure that you do not ramble on and on and on at the beginning of the video, because people will click away. Don't go off topic. Stay on topic and get to the point. And number 3, and this one I see so much of. That's the use of AI voices. Don't do it. It is the most inauthentic thing. If you have an accent and you are afraid that people aren't going to like it, don't worry. There is a ton of non-English speaking, well, I shouldn't say non-English speaking, but people who do not have English as their first language, but are doing English videos. They will still speak and they will do very well. And you know what? Now, this is something that I did during a podcast. My last podcast episode was with Sunny Sev. She was worried about her language, but she did perfectly fine. We had an amazing conversation. And I think you'll find that a lot of YouTubers who don't speak English as a first language but make English language videos do perfectly fine. And you know what? I like hearing the accents. I think it's great. I really do love to hear it. With AI voices, covering up the accents, or like if you're not a very good speaker, AI voices still, they don't sound real. They don't have the emotion of the real person. And I think that's a problem. People want to hear the actual person speaking. They want to connect with the person, not some AI voice. And AI voices just simply do not feel real. And sometimes there's this tinny sound to the voice. It just sounds wrong. I just don't really like the artificial sounding voice. But if you are worried that you're going to sound, I don't know, unprofessional, or that you don't know what you're talking about, you're hesitating all the time and things like that, that's what editing is for. And that's what doing retakes is for. You can keep recording over and over again. You can retake many times. I do it. For these videos, actually this video, I restarted it 4 times because I hated what I was saying at the beginning. So absolutely, you take advantage of the editor. Cut out the things that you don't want people to hear. If you're having problems saying something, you know what? Write it down. Practice it. And you can keep doing it until you get it right. But also, try not to be a perfectionist. That's just something that you don't need. Perfectionism in YouTube videos, actually, people like to see the mistakes. I know Whip, he leaves mistakes in his videos. And you know what? People comment on it. And that increases engagement in your videos. It can be a fun thing, you know. Mistakes are fine. But number 4, enunciate. Speak clearly. If you don't, people will click away. And again, this is something that may be more difficult for some. If your style of talking is, if it's really, really fast and you don't speak clearly, okay, I get it. I understand that that's not typically how you would speak, but in cases like that, slow down a little bit. Speak more clearly. And try to sound, it doesn't have to be professional, but at least make it sound like anyone can have a conversation with you. It's pretty important if you want to keep your audience, because they need to understand what you're saying. So enunciation is really important. And that is really about it. Those are 4 things that I think are really important if you want to show off your voice, sound authentic, sound like a real person, and connect with your audience. It's really important. And I cannot stop saying that word. I keep saying important because it is. But do you have any other advice? Like, if you have had experience with public speaking, or you've had experience on TV and radio, or even YouTube, let me know in the comments below what your advice would be. If you like videos like this and would like to see some more, then please consider subscribing to this channel as well as my main one. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.